Neighborhood disputes can get pretty nasty, but sometimes they can cause even larger problems. Investigative reporter David Hammer found one such battle in Metairie that has vexed Parish officials and sent neighbors fleeing.
Imagine finding your neighbor doing this on this otherwise quiet residential street. Day after day and night after night.
He uses large machinery. He doesn't do it for yard maintenance. He does it to, can I say the word terrorize? Is that okay? Harass?
Is that how you feel? Do you feel
That's
like
how I
he's
feel,
terrorizing?
yes.
Woody Mulkey grew up here on Linden Street in Metairie. Now, he says, because of his neighbor Thomas Centani, he's selling his house and leaving Jefferson Parish for good.
I have been stressed by this neighbor for years. He tries to intimidate, but it's not the fear of my neighbor that is the last straw that makes me want to leave, that makes me have to sell my family home. It's because I'm afraid, because of everything I've seen of Jefferson Parish.
Everything Mulkey has seen of Jefferson Parish started in earnest back in July 2010.
There was a hearse in my front yard, and they were removing a dead body from my neighbor's yard through my yard because they couldn't get through his yard.
That was the last straw. Mulkey reported Centani to Jefferson Parish Code Enforcement.
My neighbor found out that I reported him through Jefferson Parish, and I wound up with several citations on my door.
Mulkey says some of the findings against him were bogus, but he admitted
I had someone do some work on my home after Katrina.
Without a permit?
Yeah.
he addressed those issues, but when he asked the code inspector about the complaints against his neighbor, he said,
before you open a can of worms, this is leaning toward the back. You know that, right?
Meaning, be quiet about your neighbor's activity.
I want this to stop. I really do. It's a pain in the ass as much for me as it is for you and for him.
Rebuked by Jefferson Parish code enforcement, Mulkey said he turned the other cheek for years until his girlfriend, Pam McClellan, moved in.
Mother's Day night, he brought in about 2 in the morning one of the huge bucket trucks, brought it into the very back of the property, worked in the dark. And then Memorial Day weekend, David, it was just a nightmare.
When McClellan complained, the parish opened their 20th code violation case against Centani since 2005. Most were filed anonymously by other neighbors, like the one on the other side of Centani, who said she moved to Slidell to get away from the sounds of machinery in the middle of the night. But when McClellan filed her complaint, the parish says it made a mistake. The summons had McClellan's name on it. She was no longer anonymous.
4 days from court, I was fixing breakfast, washing dishes, and I look out, and he's pressure washing. And then all of a sudden, he begins to write my name.
He puts a Halloween figure of the Grim Reaper holding the face.
We called the sheriff's department because there was no doubt that was a threat.
Mulkey and McClellan filed police reports, got a restraining order against Centani.
Code enforcement showed up a day before one of the other council meetings and asked to come inside of our home to search for a violation. They didn't tell us what they were looking for.
We'd like a more specific accusation.
Without looking, so we don't know.
So they just said we're doing work and that's good enough.
That's all they
And
said.
so-
Absolutely.
Okay,
We don't need to do anything. Are you not letting me on your
Wait, I have
property?
a
We're
question.
going to leave right now.
The court ordered Centani to remove all of the heavy equipment from his property, but the video appears to show him moving much of it into the shed before the parish came and cleared the lot on July 14th. The parish attorney says its contractor cleared Centani's lot for free.
He has free reign, and he's actually stepped it up a notch to where now with the sanding and the priming and the painting, that is affecting our health.
We saw Centani outside his house and asked for an interview. His wife, Tracy, told him not to talk.
I'll tell you this, though, they're both going to go to jail because of this crap.
No comment.
But he came back to talk to us again.
But everything
I
going
just
on,
want to
I'm
make
very
sure that I
scared.
had a
I'm
good,
going to teach my 15-year-old child, girl,
good connection.
being here at this house.
What are you scared of?
I'm not scared of nothing. That's the problem. Is they just look at me like I'm crazy. I'm not.
That's your microphone.
It don't matter.
I understand, but I'm asking you.
It's telling the truth. It's telling the truth.
McClellan says Jefferson Parish President Mike Yenny met with them and promised his code enforcement director, Amy Vallow, would fix it. But Yenny now says it's not that simple.
We're not going to exceed the law. We're doing what the law allows us to do.
But this couple feel, they say they're being driven out of the parish, they're selling their house because then the code enforcement office started citing them for what they consider dubious sites when they're making these complaints. They feel like it's retribution.
No retribution whatsoever. I don't operate like that. I've never operated like that. We don't do selective code enforcement.
But Mulkey says the parish is ultimately at fault.
Jefferson Parish is a dragon. My neighbor is a dangerous lizard. I can't fight a dragon.
David Hammer, Eyewitness News.
Well, Mulkey sold his family home last month and moved to another parish. But shortly before he moved, a code enforcement official accused him of obstructing his work while filming him on the street. Mulkey denies the allegations and has a court date in January.